Rolls along on this 9-game homestand. They look to even up the series with the Washington Nationals in the second of a 2-game set. Jordan Zimmermann on the mound for the Nationals. Brett Overholtzer for the Houston Astros. Get your gear on. Astros baseball starts right now.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, CSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's the finale of this brief 2-game series. The Astros are meeting the Washington Nationals. Good evening, everybody. Another gorgeous night. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, Julia Morales. And we watched the Washington Nationals come from behind to take that one last night, 4-3. Now the Astros try to gain a split of this series, Ash.
The Astros, a club that's been hitting a little better of late. They have gotten some good starting pitching. The back end of the bullpen has had its struggles trying to hold on to some late leads.
The Astros have relied upon a couple of guys in their wins this year, Dexter Fowler and Jason Castro in particular, who have really led what they've done offensively in the games they've won.
Yeah, there have been some strengths for the ball club. They've hit 29 home runs. These two guys, though, seem to be the individuals who have had the most impact offensively when the club has won, and each one with a couple of home runs in wins. The home runs have been a big theme for the ball club in victories. Dexter Fowler has shown some pop from the left side of the plate. Despite the fact that the club continues to struggle against right-hand pitching, Jason Castro had that unique double off the wall last night, and one of those that I hope we get a chance to talk a little more about. But he's got that opposite field power. And Jason Castro, as the only member of the team to be on the All-Star squad a year ago, figures to be a guy that is needed night in, night out with the offensive chances.
Jordan Zimmermann takes the ball tonight for the Washington Nationals against Brett Overholtzer for Houston. Zimmermann, a very consistent, good pitcher.
19-game winner a year ago, tied for best in the league in that regard. And he is simply the guy that gets it done for the Washington Nationals. Steven Strasburg gets the headlines. Jordan Zimmermann seems to get the W's. And just one of those guys that has the good breaking pitches, knows where to apply pitches down around the knees. Very solid pitcher. And again, a 19-game winner a year ago.
Coming up next, it's Rally Jason. Julia talks to the 2013 All-Star Jason Castro about his improvement at the plate and handling the pitching staff. Houston Astros baseball on Comcast.
To Astros baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Astros and Nationals closing out a 2-game series here in Houston, and I am joined by the catcher Jason Castro, not the rally Jason, but the real Jason Castro is with me now. And last year when we talked a lot about this young starting staff that you guys had, and they've grown up a little bit, but overall, what do you think of the performance that all of these starters have done this year?
They've done a great job. You can definitely see the strides that have begun to kind of take place, and the work that they're doing kind of behind the scenes, kind of under the tutelage of some of the older guys. Scott Feldman's one of them, does a great job. He took some of these young players in under his wing in spring, and he's really done a great job kind of showing them the types of things that he does to prepare for games. And I think that's one of the big things that has helped make these guys make that kind of leap forward is the preparation that they put in before their starts.
Tonight we get another look at Brett Overholtzer, the lefty, who's coming off his worst outing of the year, but up until that point, just doing a really, really nice job. What's changed with him? I know the curveball is a big pitch that he's been trying to improve this year, but what have you seen be the difference, I guess, or how has he improved from last year this year?
He's always had command. I mean, that's one thing that he's really excelled at up to this point in his career, but really kind of refining some of his stuff as far as his curveball's gotten a lot crisper, and it's another tool that he has. He's always had a great changeup, but I think with the addition of that sharp curveball that he's throwing now, pairs really well with that. He's able to not just get just righties or just lefties out. He's a little bit more multidimensional now with that added pitch and its effectiveness.
Well, we will see Brett Overholtzer tonight facing Jordan Zimmermann. Thank you, Jason Castro. Coming up, the Astros take on the Nationals, trying to tie up a series with the Nats. Don't go anywhere. First pitch and lineups next.
Minute Maid Park, fans getting to their seats as the Astros and the Nationals get set for Game 2 of their 2-game series. We have some clouds above, but the temperature is absolutely ideal, and it was pleasant on the field before this game tonight. Let's take a look at the Nationals starting lineup. They're 15-12. They're 3 games off the lead pace of Atlanta. Denard Span is the leadoff man and center fielder. It's Anthony Rendon of this area at third base. Jason Worth is the DH batting third. Ian Desmond, the shortstop, is the cleanup man, followed by first baseman Tyler Moore, left fielder Kevin Franson, second baseman Danny Espinosa, catcher Sandy Leon, and right fielder Steven Souza.
On the mound for the Astros tonight, left-hander, 24 years of age, Brett Overholzer, 0-4, and that's a deceiving figure, 4.61 the ERA, in part because of his last start, that against the Oakland A's. Bit of a rough one, 6 earnings in the first 4 innings, not even quite 4 innings. He had pitched very well in a couple of starts prior to that, and he'd like to get back to that type of pitching.
And he faces this Nationals club for the first time in his career, trying to snap that 8-game overall losing streak. It's Denard Span getting things going with a .222 average. He's driven in 6. Span had a hit and a walk and stole a base in last night's game, which Washington won 4-3. That's strike 1. Paul Schreiber is the home plate umpire. Span with 8 walks has a .289 on base average. 30-year-old veteran, a first-round pick of the Minnesota Twins in 2002. Washington got him in a trade prior to last year, and he had a good year for Washington. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The Nationals were 5-6 on a long homestand. Their road trip started with the win here last night. They go on to play the Phillies in a 3-game set over the weekend before returning home. Obi delivers, and that's ball 2 for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Nationals have won their last 5 games here at Minute Maid Park. There's the game Ash talked about. 3 2/3 innings, 6 runs on 8 hits in a loss to the Athletics. Last time out, he's working with an extra day of rest since then.
A's jumped on him right from the very first inning of that game.
Well, he had a stretch of 5 innings or more in all of his starts as a major leaguer, and that ended with that 3 2/3 inning effort. He gave up homers to Josh Donaldson and Alberto Callaspo in that game. He left with the Astros trailing 6-1, and they lost it 10-1.
Prior to that starts 1-run affairs, 1 at Oakland against the A's in a no decision, 1 at Texas against the Rangers in a loss.
Span chasing the curveball, strikes out.
Defensively for Houston tonight, and they won't be needed if Overholzer continues to strike out everybody, but we'll put him out there anyway. Alex Presley in left, Dexter Fowler in center, and George Springer in right. Around the infield left to right, Matt Dominguez and Jonathan Villar on the left side. On the right, it's Jose Altuve and Jesus Guzman behind the dish. Jason Castro.
Anthony Rendon, born in Richmond, Texas, went to Lamar High School here in the Houston area and then on to Rice University. First-round pick in 2011. Had a 1-for-5 night last night in his return to home. There's strike 1, and the banners were out as we had shots in the stands of his family and friends watching Rendon, who's off to a very fine start. He leads the club in hits with 32 and runs batted in with 17. 1-1 to Rendon, who started the season as the second baseman, but then when Ryan Zimmerman went out with thumb surgery, he moved to third base, and he's fielded well at both positions, and he has hit consistently. Swings at that one, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Good downward action from Overholzer on that pitch.
That effective changeup, that can be, in my estimation, his most effective pitch on any given night, but not a pitch he's going to throw nearly as often as the fastball.
And the fastball's fouled away. Now Obi, from what we've seen of him, Ash, much better than an 0-4 pitcher, despite the 4.61 ERA. That was really blown up by that last start.
Without question. He's been a hard luck pitcher this year. The Astros clearly have not scored runs for him. He's right there at the bottom of the pack in the league in terms of receiving support.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And he's been effective against left-hand hitters. You would expect him to be that, but then again, a lot of left-handers are not. 192 is the batting average against by the lefties.
Run support just 1.6 in his starts. Second lowest in the AL, as Ash mentioned, and it's been a struggle. Now it's a 3-2 count to Anthony Rendon. Anthony has hit .500 against left-handed pitching in the early going this season. He was the 6th player drafted in the 2011 draft. Out to right center field. Loping back, here's Fowler. That will shoot the gap, go off the base of the wall. Fowler drops it, picked up by George Springer, and that's a double for Rendon.
That's impressive power going to the gap in right center field by the right-hand hitting Rendon. He's not a huge guy by any stretch, but he's really driving the baseball. Got a pitch to handle, though, about belt high out over the plate.
That's his 9th two-base hit of the year.
When you're not overpowering, and that's the category that you would certainly put Brett Oberholzer in, you can't afford to have a lot of those pitches through the heart of the plate, up around the waist.
Rendon aboard. Worth is the batter. Altuve playing up the middle on Worth. Worth at 290 with 4 homers, has 15 runs batted in, and a very good looking slash line there. Numbers are solid all the way around. That's strike 1 to Worth. Worth is 34 years old, and he does take a lot of pitches. He is DHing tonight. Last night he was DHing as well, so he gives his legs a rest in this interleague series before moving back to National League play. In tight. That makes it a 1-ball 1-strike count to Worth. The Nationals had a decent season last year, but the expectations had been so high for them that it fell short of what many of their fans had thought they might do and had hoped they might do. They were 86 and 76. That's a strike. They made the managerial change. Davey Johnson retiring and Matt Williams getting the job. Matt had only managed for about 5 weeks in Double-A at Mobile in the Arizona system, and then in the Arizona Fall League. That was the extent of his managerial experience, but he got the job and is getting rave reviews. He's been to the playoffs 6 times as a player, and with the 01 D-backs, a world championship team.
I think as a player, he was one of those guys very much looked up to.
Loved his Babe Ruth impersonations. Remember those?
You know what? I vaguely do, and pretty quality stuff.
Yeah.
Not sure he exactly fits the bill with the body mold.
No, but he could pull it off. And he's seemingly very much the old style manager, demanding that his club hustle all the time, set that tone in spring training. That's strike 3. Obi gets out number 2.
Well spotted, that fastball after a second strike changeup that was beautifully spotted down and away. And I think Jason Worth probably talking to himself saying, this is a guy that I might have to really bear down on with the abilities to hit the corners as he showed.
Worth had a couple of hits and won a homer last night. This time he takes a seat, and it's Ian Desmond batting. Now Worth got that first inning long ball last night over Jared Cozart. That is ball 1 to Desmond. 234, 4 homers, 16 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 with a walk in last night's game. That's a strike, and that evens the count at 1-1 to Desmond, who was batting in the 5 spot in last night's game. That was an excellent game last night for Jared Cozart. 6 innings, 2 runs. But the Nationals got 1 run in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to overtake the Astros. Ground ball to Guzman at first, and that is the 3rd out. No runs a hit, a man stranded. 2 up for the Astros. Jose Altuve, Dexter Fowler, and Jason Castro. No score. A Nationals run. Now the Astros come up with this lineup card from Bo Porter, presented by Jack in the Box. Jose Altuve's at second with Dexter Fowler in center field. Jason Castro, the catcher, hitting third. The cleanup man is right fielder George Springer. With Jesus Guzman at first base, Alex Presley in left field, Chris Carter the DH, Matt Dominguez at third base, and Jonathan Villar the shortstop.
Jordan Zimmermann goes to the mound for these Washington Nationals. 27 years of age. He's 1-1 with a 4.05 ERA. He's faced the Astros 4 times over his career and is 1-2. The Astros have had some degree of success against him in 24 1/3 innings. On the season, he's allowing just over a hit per inning.
He has 3 straight quality starts. He had a bit of a slow start to this season. Had the flu at the outset of the year. Jose Altuve, the first man up. He leads the club in base hits with 31, and he's tied for 7th in the American League in hits. At strike one, Altuve starts the night at 279 with 1 homer. He's driven in 9. He was 0 for 5 in last night's game. That stopped a 4-game hitting streak. Rolls over on this one, and the shortstop Desmond unloads for out number 1.
Defensively for the Washington Nationals. Started in the outfield, left to right. Kevin Franson, who made that unbelievable play off the wall last night. Denard Span in center, and Steven Souza in right field. On the infield, Anthony Rendon at 30, and Desmond, you just saw him at shortstop. On the right side, Danny Espinosa and Tyler Moore. And behind the plate, it's Sandy Leon. Kevin Franson, what did you think of that play last night? I was stunned.
Couldn't believe it.
As he took the Castro ball off the wall and just kind of threw it in his back left pocket. Somehow the glove happened to be right there and threw it back in as if he had planned it that way.
That was amazing. Dexter Fowler's on a 9-game hitting streak, 239, 2 homers. He's driven in 7. Strike one for Jordan Zimmermann. Fowler has a 316 on base average. Starting to heat up. He's hit 313 during his 9-game streak. That's not an outrageously high batting average for a guy who's putting together a streak like that. Chase that one upstairs, and it's 0-2.
See a little bit of what makes this big right-hander so tough. 95 on that high heat.
He will change the eye level, and he will keep it in the strike zone or get the hitters to expand. He's walked 2 or fewer for 15 straight starts now. Second round pick of the Nats in 07. Good velocity at 95, but Fowler has the presence of mind to take it for ball 2. Fowler's 2 for 10 against Zimmermann in his career. Zimmermann last year going 19-9 with a 3.25 ERA for Washington. And that's foul back. Fowler had an RBI single in 4 at-bats last night. He's been a big part of what the Astros have done when they've been successful offensively. They still rank last in the league in runs. They're also last in on base and slugging. In tight for a ball, and it's 3-2 to Fowler. Fowler has an excellent career on base average. Type of hitter who often will take the count to 3-2. And he fouls that one. The Astros 2-3 on this long homestand. They have a day off tomorrow. That'll be Bo Porter's 2nd day off this week. Well, he's probably busy. He's always doing charity things. But his club has a day off. And then over the weekend, one more 3-game series before the Astros go on the road again. Seattle will be in over the weekend.
I think I heard Bo talking about him being involved with J.J. Watt tomorrow.
Okay. Well, anytime you can be involved with J.J. Watt, do it.
Just don't be opposite him with Watt trying to get by you.
Not at all. Yeah, you don't want to be an offensive tackle involved with J.J. Watt. That's for sure. So the big draft a week from tomorrow. And the baseball draft won't be too far behind, early June. Dexter took that one off the foot, it appeared.
Ooh.
No, the knee. Ouch.
Ooh, yeah, Bo saw exactly what happened.
That's a bouncer, and it's flagged down by Moore. Tossing to Zimmermann. He threw behind him, but Zimmermann took care of it for out number 2. Now Jason Castro, Julia's pregame guest, working on a 6-game hitting streak. Talked with Jason a little bit around the batting cage today. He came out for early hitting. At 228, he has 4 homers and a club high 13 runs batted in. Good numbers on base and slugging for Jason Castro again this season. He's going through that adjustment period, he said. The pitchers are working him differently than they did most of the time a year ago. He's having to respond to that. There's strike one.
For a guy who's graduated from Stanford, you probably would expect him to be pretty intelligent, and he is all of that. And the comments are so thoughtful when you hear him talking about teammates and pitchers that he works with.
1-1. Well, we've mentioned this on the air, Ash, but he's hit 3 of his home runs of his 4 to the opposite field. So pitchers are working him now more often inside than they have in the past.
We saw some of that last year early on in the season, utilizing left field with a very nice power stroke. He then had to make an adjustment with the hard pitching in, and he did so. And he showed some pitchers that he would yank it to right field. So he left them with very little recourse at one point. And I've yet this year to see him be able to take advantage inside. It's coming.
Well, he punches that one down the left field line, and that will go back into the seats. Well, you could see in that shot behind the plate, Craig Biggio and Nolan Ryan side by side watching the game. They were together around the batting cage. Had a lengthy discussion. Former battery mates, one in the Hall of Fame, the other on his way. As for Zimmerman, he's 44-36 lifetime. Breaking ball is fouled away, and on the verge of taking over the all-time victory lead in the history of the Washington Nationals since they moved from Montreal to Washington. With his 44 wins for the Nats, he ties Livan Hernandez for the winningest pitcher in Nationals history. Nationals began in 2005. That's in the air, foul, and a good battle here. And Fowler also went to 3-2 and made Zimmerman throw a number of pitches, so he's at 17 pitches in the first inning so far.
It's an intriguing draft, 2007, when Zimmerman was picked up 3rd overall. The top 2 guys we know nothing about. They have not made it to the major leagues, or very briefly if they have. But Josh Fields picked a couple of slots behind, and then down the list, guys like Giancarlo Stanton, Freddie Freeman.
You're talking about some good talent there.
Yeah, there's some good talent in that first round, but the top 2 picks were Will Klein of the Devil Rays and Sam Runyon of the Royals. And so you can miss at the top, and that's why it just takes so many eyes and so much knowledge to understand exactly what you're getting.
Castro hits another foul ball. And that will be back in the seats again.
You know, and it makes me think, as we saw Nolan Ryan and Craig Biggio behind the plate, boy, there's a lot to be learned from those guys. They've got so much knowledge about this game.
Castro looks at it. It's a 3-2 count now to Jason. King Felix might be on the hill Friday night here for Seattle. Mariners have not yet named their starter, but that's the way it shapes up. They were rained out today. That's a shot, just foul. And he was scheduled to go in that game at Yankee Stadium today, which was postponed. Other postponements as well. Pittsburgh at Baltimore postponed. They'll play a doubleheader May 1st. This will be the 11th pitch coming to Castro.
There's an adjustment, a little cutter, little tiny slider working toward the inside corner, and that's getting the head out quickly.
He was ready to turn on that. Tampa Bay and Boston postponed. They'll play in Twin Bill May 1. Fastball gets a strikeout, and that's a 1-2-3 first for Zimmerman, needing 22 pitches, and it's scoreless.
Astros, and Comcast Business takes you inside the game, and we're going to look at the pitches that Oberholzer, I should say, has been using this season. In 4 starts, those first 4 were solid. Mixing in that breaking stuff, you see the curveball he was having a lot of success with there, but the start versus Oakland, the guys talked about it earlier, he went away from it altogether. The A's got after his fastball and changeup. And, of course, we talked to Obi following that start, and he said he just didn't have it. He didn't have any of it and felt uncomfortable, flat out uncomfortable on the mound. And good teams will do that to you. Brent Strom said in order for him to feel comfortable on the mound, he's going to have that curveball. And, guys, we've already seen that tonight, striking out Denard Span with that curveball earlier in the first inning.
That's right, Julia. Thank you. Tyler Moore, the batter. And he looks at strike 1. Moore at 211 with 1 homer, has 2 runs batted in. He was born in Lafayette, Louisiana. Went to Mississippi State. 27 years old. That's in for a strike, and quickly it's 0-2 for Obi.
That's the other pitch, along with the curveball, that changeup that can be so effective, and he's spotting it well this evening.
Yeah, fastball in, changeup away. That's a classic pattern for success. Ground ball is short. The shift is on. VR takes care of out number 1.
When you reflect back to that last start for Brett Oberholzer, the one against the Oakland A's, 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earnings against him. You can see some of the reasons why. He had some pitches right through the heart of the plate that the A's were jumping on. It's not like the A's had him scouted so well and they hit all kinds of tough pitches. I would agree with what Obi said. He wasn't feeling it that day, just maybe a little lost and leaving pitches right through the heart of the plate. And you can see what the A's were seeing, and they hit him hard.
Kevin Franson bats next. Franson takes ball 1. 265 for Kevin. No homers and 2 runs batted in. Playing left field in the absence of the injured Bryce Harper. Franson was 1 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. Scored a run last night. Made that tremendous play off the wall in left field. Had a very active night in the Nationals lineup.
I think that play made Yahoo's news page today.
Well, it should have.
Such a unique play.
Nationals picked him up as a free agent March 26th this year. He had his back to the play when the ball came off the wall in left field, and it went right in his glove. 2 balls and a strike. That's something you don't see very often. Like never in this ballpark. Line drive to right field. Springer backpedaling. Turns for the catch. 2 outs.
You know, George has been good on balls in the air. The balls on the ground have been giving him a tough time.
A reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Danny Espinosa will be the batter now. Switch hitting second sacker. Espinosa gives the Nationals another outstanding player, but last year he did not live up to the standard he had set prior to that, and was losing playing time earlier this season until the Ryan Zimmerman injury. Bunts, and that's going to go foul. Strike 1 to Espinosa. Espinosa has 6 bunt hits. A guy who can mix in a few bunt hits every now and then can sometimes stay out of those lengthy slumps. He wound up hitting 158 last year in 158 at bats. And the 2 years prior to that, he had 17 homers in 2012, 21 long balls in 2011. So that was a major drop off for Danny Espinosa, who logged considerable time last year at AAA Syracuse. But back to pretty decent production so far this season at age 26. Curveball comes in for a strike. That makes it 0-2. Espinosa went to Long Beach State.
Good looking curveball. That's what Brent Strom's saying Obi needs. Yeah, it's a nice combination of all the pitches, and the way he's been spotting the fastball combined, as you were saying, Brownie, with that changeup. Really effective looking so far.
I like the way Castro received that last curveball down low.
You know, I didn't overly pay attention to that.
There's VR in the hole, uncorking a high one over the head of Guzman, and safe at first base. It's a hit. 2 outs for Espinosa.
And should be. That's quite an effort by VR. He's got such a strong arm, and moving to his right completely away from first base launches this one. But you can see how athletic this guy is. He's got a chance of really being one of the elite shortstops defensively. And then when you combine what he can do offensively, the sky's kind of the limit for Jonathan VR.
Now Sandy Leon steps up. He's from Culiacan, Mexico. Leon, 25 years old, had just 1 at bat with the Nationals last year, 30 at bats with them the year before. 152 with a homer. He's driven in 3, and the throw goes over. Espinosa's 2 for 2 on steals. Leon sharing the catching chores with the injury to Wilson Ramos with Jose Lobaton. Lobaton started last night. Ramos could be back soon from a hand injury. There's ball 1. This Washington club just dogged by injuries so far. Ramos was hurt on opening day, and Matt Williams, starting 8, has been together for a total of 7 innings this year. Outside, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count.
And all you can say to the new skip, Matt Williams, is nobody made any promises it was going to be easy. It's a tough gig.
That's for sure.
You get one of those years where guys stay healthy and produce, you come up with a champion.
They're hanging in so far at 15 and 12. Foul back, 2 balls and a strike. Now last year, a lot of people thought they might be a World Series team, but they finished 10 games behind Atlanta, and they were 6 and 13 against the Braves.
I thought they were the class of the division. Coming out of spring training, Bryce Harper was primed and ready to potentially be an MVP, and Strasburg a Cy Young Award winner. It just didn't play out that way.
Well, this year they're 1 and 5 against the Braves so far, and the Braves are 17 and 8 despite the Braves pitching injuries.
Freddie Gonzalez and company are doing something right in Atlanta.
Well, that something right might include a starting pitching ERA of about 1.65.
That's absolutely true.
Runner goes. The pitch is a ball. The throw to Altuve. He does not catch it. Stolen base by Espinosa. He's 3 for 3 this year. And the count's 3-1 now.
Jump is decent. Oberholzer generally does a nice job cutting down on jumps. The throw may be a little low, and it makes a second baseman in this case try to glove and reach rather than snapping down a tag. A little easier for that infielder if the throw is knee high or in that range.
Now, a 3-1 count with Espinosa at second base. Leon fouls it back, and it's a full count with Souza on deck. Leon is a switch hitter. He was signed by the general manager of the Nationals, Mike Rizzo, out of a Venezuelan tryout camp. Steven Souza there on deck. Tigers beat the White Sox today 5-1 to take the 2-game series. Max Scherzer, the winner, goes to 3-1. That's a walk, and Leon takes his base with Souza now batting. Let's take a look at that Atlanta Braves pitching, Ash.
Now they're just something special, and they've got some young arms that they blend in. You can see even Aaron Harang, the veteran, has suddenly stepped up as if he's a Cy Young candidate. I don't know what it is with certain clubs that enable guys to really come through. Craig Kimbrell, I think, is as dominant as any closer in the game can be. But, boy, 2.32 the ERA to this point, first in the major leagues. They're just really special. Opponent's batting average against it, 217.
Steven Souza. It's a ground ball to shortstop. VR charging, tossing to Altuve for the third out. No runs, a hit, 2 men stranded, no score. And the Astros at 0-0 with the Nationals. Bottom of the second coming. Christy Miller joining us to talk about plans for the weekend, and we're hearing about maybe King Felix going Friday night for the Seattle Mariners here. So there's always a buzz when a former Cy Young Award winner comes to town. Maybe Iwakuma will pitch in that series as well. They had a rain out today, so we're not sure yet, but we know that you have plenty of things to tell us about for the weekend as well.
We do. That'd be great. It's always good to start with a good matchup to get people excited about it to begin. And on Friday as well, we'll have the St. Arnold Happy Hour that takes place every Friday home game that we have here from 4:30 to 6:30 over at the St. Arnold Bar right behind the Crawford boxes. It's $5 12-ounce beers, access to View BP from the Crawford boxes. So it's a pretty good deal. It's a fun atmosphere over there. And then that moves into Saturday. We start our Cinco de Mayo celebration with our Street Fest out on Crawford Street and the plaza on Crawford Street from 12 to 3 p.m. That is open to the public. Obviously encourage everyone to come in after the Street Fest, get a ticket, come in and get your Los Astros t-shirt for the first 10,000 fans that come in, presented by Goya. That Street Fest will have live mariachi bands, some pep rallies, including Jeff Luno, and with a second one with players Carlos Corporon, Marwin Gonzalez, and emceed by our Spanish radio broadcasters, Francisco Romero, Alex Trevino. Should be a good time.
George Springer fouls it. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. We have the fireworks Friday after the game as well, so a big weekend coming up. What else can you tell us about the weekend?
We do, and that fireworks show is themed symphony this week, so we're being really specific with our themes, and you'll see another skit rendition from our fuzzy friend Orbit, so he's always full of surprises, so you'll have to stick around after the game for that for sure.
Great.
On Saturday as well, our Astros players will be wearing the Los Astros jerseys on the field, and we will also have in park Spanish PA announcements, so it'll kind of be a well-rounded event there.
Popped up on the right side of the infield, and the second sacker, Espinoza has it. That's 1 out. The weather is gorgeous, isn't it?
Beautiful. You can't ask for better nights for baseball than you have tonight with the roof open. Beautiful sunset over downtown. We're hoping for that throughout the weekend as well, so we can keep this top popped in. I know the fans really enjoy that. Just makes for a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it does. Now Guzman stepping up. Guzman at 196 has 2 homers. Jesus has driven in 3. Anything else going on this weekend?
We'll end the weekend with Family Sundays presented by Kroger. Always a great family atmosphere in here, and ending with, of course, our kids run the bases, so that's always a great time. Last Sunday we had dogs in the park, which was a lot of fun, and this Sunday just kids running the bases after the game. So
they're not allowed to go in head first. We've had too many injuries with that.
We definitely discourage that.
There's always orthopedic surgery.
May's a jam-packed month, though. This weekend's pretty full with our Cinco de Mayo, and then on May 17th when we come back in for the next weekend series, and we'll talk about this here in the next coming weeks, but we'll have our annual Bayou Bash Crawfish Festival out on Crawford Street in the plaza out there, as well as our first gnome giveaway.
Giveaway.
An Astro gnome, which we're extremely excited about. It's kind of a play on the bobblehead. It's been successful for other teams, and they're really cute little guys you can put in your garden or whatever you want to do with it. And we're really excited about that one. So happy for the fans to get that one in their hands.
There's a hit for Christy Miller right through the middle. Guzman, first Astro to get on, and that'll bring up Alex Presley.
Our Castro bobblehead created this Raleigh Jason, phenom that you've been seeing throughout the last few games. So maybe the gnome will bring its own form of luck.
Maybe they'll have the gnome down there in the dugout.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're having fun with Raleigh Jason.
I think you're supposed to keep the lawn gnomes or whatever right out at the entrance. So maybe the entrance to the dugout, you can keep it out there, get approval from the league and the umpires. I'm sure they'd be agreeable.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Alex Presley, ball 1. As long as they're not involved in the replay review process.
You can't throw the flag.
Have them out around home plate, welcoming, greeting hitters to the batter's box area.
So the gnome, what's the date again on the gnome giveaway?
That's Saturday, May the 17th. So Bayou Bash will be from 12 to 3 o'clock outside. The first 1,000 to enter that event will actually get a Bayou Bash specific giveaway, which is a trucker hat, custom trucker hat. And then you can also be one of the first 10,000 into the park and get that gnome. So fans are going to make out like bandits that day. So I encourage everyone to come early, and you can get more information on that event and everything else at astros.com/promotions.
Can you make sure and bring a trucker hat to Brownie early on, because there's nobody who wears a trucker hat quite like Bill Brown.
I think Ash needs one for those long trips up 290.
I can definitely do that for you. As long as you promise to wear them during the broadcast that night, that'll be my deal.
I think I'll put my trucker hat on my gnome that I'm going to make sure and plant on the front lawn. Yeah, I think I've already gotten a text from the association.
Presley looks at it. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count now with Carter on deck. And we've got National Jersey Day coming up Friday, don't we, Christy?
We do. So everyone needs to come out to the park on Friday the 2nd and wear their jerseys. We'll have, jerseys available at our team store. It's with Majestic. And it's the first time they've done this promotion, and only handpicked a select few teams to get it off the ground this year. We happen to be one of them, so really want everyone to come out and show their Astros pride wearing their jersey that day, or getting one from our store while they're in the park, or they can visit Academy Sports and Outdoors locations as well to pick up their gear prior to heading to Minute Maid.
All you guys going to wear your jerseys around the office that day?
I think I will.
Good. That's in the air outside the left field line. Coming over near the line, Franson. Franson's out of room. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. What else can we look ahead
to? Well, if we keep going to the end of May, we'll have the Civil Rights game coming in, of course, that weekend. So really every weekend that we have coming up for the next month and a half or so is really full of a lot of added value activities. Civil Rights game in May. And then June 14th, which is it'll be our very next weekend series. We have our Faith and Family Night featuring Mercy Me, and that's presented by Houston Methodist this year. Always an exciting, really, really fun night at the ballpark, so we're looking forward to that. So literally every weekend coming up for the next month and a half, we've got something fun to look forward to.
That's great. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Presley.
The Cinco de Mayo event this weekend out there should be really fun because the weather's still cool. It's nice to be outside. It's a really high energy atmosphere before you head into the ballpark. If the roof's able to stay open this weekend, obviously the fans love that, like we talked about earlier. So just really liking to activate that space out there on Crawford Street.
The high Saturday should be 82.
All right.
So
that should be within the realm. So the roof should be open on Saturday then, barring any rain.
Runner goes, and there's a ground ball to second. Quick flip to second base. Shortstop tied up on the return throw to first. Doesn't get the out there, so a 4-6 force on Guzman takes care of out number 2.
That was a nice play on 2 ends right there. The play from second was not a guarantee, but they took the shot with the ball semi-sharply hit, and then a nice job by Guzman really breaking up any shot at a double play.
And he's looking to see that play develop. That gives Chris Carter a chance to swing the bat now rather than an inning-ending double play. Carter has 3 homers. He's driven in 8 runs with a 160 average.
What's the must-have food for the Cinco de Mayo weekend?
Ooh, must-have food. Well, we'll have a couple of food trucks out there on Saturday, and fans love that. We had, I think, 9 of them at our opening day Street Fest, and they're a big hit. So we'll have a couple of those out there. And then, of course, our newly renovated concession stand.
It trickles out to shortstop. Here's the barehanded play and a high throw, and he gets the out call at first. Let's see Bo Porter. Yes, he's going to come out, and this one might be reviewed because Moore took his foot off the bag. The question was, did he get it back on the bag? Will Little is walking away. Now, Bo Porter has reached him. And the Nationals are running off the field, which they're not supposed to do. Let's take a look at it.
It looked to me like the foot comes back to the bag. Now, he leaves and then comes back right there. So I thought it looked like a clear cut out.
And Bo is not going to challenge it. That is out number 3. And Christy Miller, thanks so much for joining us.
You're very welcome. Casa Nacho on the main concourse. That's the new concession stand to visit on Saturday.
Cool.
Sounds great. We'll pay a visit.
Thank you guys for having me.
That was cool.
Nats and Astros top 3, and it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's the Comcast Sportsnet fan photo, and it's brought to you by AT&T. Brownie.
Thanks, Julia. There's a photo right there of a beautiful evening. No score. We go to inning number 3. Top of the order for Washington. Denard Span, the batter. Span takes that one in the dirt, and it's ball 1. It was a good play by Desmond to end the inning. Then the first baseman Moore got his foot back on the base, so there was no replay review by Bo Porter because clearly it was displayed that the out was the proper call.
Yeah, I imagine that play from the dugout looked like the foot never got back to the bag, but nicely done.
Strike evens the count, and it's 1-1 for Oberholzer. Dominguez in on the grass at third. Guzman shortened up at first base. Yeah, we talked about the NL East with this Washington team currently in third. The Mets are the surprise club at 15-11. Atlanta 17-8, and then Matt Williams' club in third, 3 games above 500. Miami is a team to watch, certainly, with a young talent, especially with the start of Giancarlo Stanton and Jose Fernandez. Fernandez really had another strong game last night. Rookie of the year last year in the National League. Did you see that play he made, Ash?
I did. Pretty heady play for anybody, and you know, I always kind of wonder why we have to label a guy heck of a play for a rookie. That was a heck of a play for anybody.
Yeah. Marlins are 12-14, so all those clubs are respectable in the NL East for the first month. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Who's the number 1 pick if you started everything all over again right now by general managers around Major League Baseball? Jose Fernandez could very well be that guy.
Watching Dan Plesac last night on the MLB Network, that was his number 1 pick if he had to start a team right now. Makes a lot of sense.
He's pretty phenomenal.
Just a dynamic young player. He hits, fields the position. It's a shot into right center field. That'll scoop. That might be a triple. That will be a triple for Span. That's a long run for Springer. He pounces on it. Now he loses it, and he may try to circle the bases. He's coming to the plate. Altuve will not make a throw, and the Nationals lead 1-0. But George Springer, who's made 4 errors, was unable to corral that one. He left his feet, and then when he got up, the ball got away from him, and Washington leads it now 1-0.
Yeah, it's really tough on a guy who's busting his tail to get there. But as we said, when the ball's been on the ground, George Springer's had a rough time for whatever reason. But look at the effort. If he picks it up there or there, but it just wasn't to happen for George. And you could see that haste was probably his enemy. Denard Span can scoot, so you knew he had 3 bags. Well, oops, you say I gotta go, huh?
It's a triple and an error on Springer. And there's Rendon taking strike 1. So that's the 5th error on George Springer. 4 of them have been on picking up balls on the ground like that. 1 throwing error. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he's made the move this year from center field to right field. Well, the way the Astros were playing, there was a huge gap out there in right center field, and that's exactly where Span hit it. No balls, 2 strikes. That was the 2nd triple of the year for Denard Span.
Oxygen, please.
He had slowed down. There's a liner to right field. That's a hit in front of Springer. And Rendon is 2 for 2 in this game.
That Denard Span play once again. You see the huge gap in right center field, and some gaps have been taken advantage of recently by the opposition. But again, I just would point out that George Springer was given everything he could to get to this ball. Once it's on the ground, he's had just a tough time coming up with it.
Bob Henley, the third base coach, sent him on home with the first run of the game. Now Jason Worth is the batter. He struck out looking. 1 run on 4 hits for the Nationals. No runs on 1 hit and 1 error for the Astros. Altuve's up the middle. That is strike 1 to Worth with Desmond on deck. Cardinals beat the Brewers today 9-3. Shelby Miller getting win number 3 of the year, beating Matt Garza. Ron Craig and Matt Adams went deep. To the left side, VR gets it quickly to Altuve. No return throw. Rendon is forced from 6 to 4. That's 1 out with Worth reaching on the play. Talked about that Jose Fernandez play, and check this out last night from the Miami Marlins game. Fernandez coming over for this little tap up the third base line. That's Tyler Pasternack of Atlanta. And Fernandez tried to tag him, missed, and then he threw it to the plate. And Jared Saltalamacchia tagged him out after faking the throw to first.
See that Pasternack had frozen initially, but when he thought the throw was going to first base, he was going to take advantage. He was the one who got burned.
Now Desmond. Well, that's just great awareness on the part of the pitcher.
Surprising, because not many guys make contact off of Fernandez, so he doesn't get a lot of practice on that sort of play.
No balls and 1 strike.
How about that slider of his?
Oh, yeah, it's huge side-to-side break on it.
Looks like the Kerry Wood job when Kerry had that 1-hitter that very likely could have been a no-hitter back in the day. One of his, what was that, his second major league start?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Against the Astros in '98 at Wrigley Field.
Ricky Gutierrez with that little roller on the left side that was the only hit of the ball game.
Foul ball back by Desmond. Jose Fernandez in his last 3 starts, Ash, has given up no earned runs and has struck out 32.
Nice.
And he's the 6th pitcher since 1913 to have that kind of a combination of stats. 52 pitches in. Oberholzer has thrown 36 strikes. Good ratio. Jose Fernandez in his career is 12-0 at home.
That's a good pitcher's ballpark, and you would figure that would be helpful a bit, but his team still has to score.
It's a shot into right field. Worth had to wait for that ball to clear the infield. Springer gets it back in on a sharp single by Desmond. Taking the 0-2 pitch hard the other way for hit number 3 of the inning.
This is a perfect example in my mind of a hitter saying, look, I've got a hole in a particular spot, and if you pitch me away, I'll go to that spot very easily. It just looked like it was set up for that kind of a swing.
Now runners at first and second, 1 out. And it's Tyler Moore batting. Moore grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Detroit beat the White Sox on a bunt single by Brian Holiday in the 9th inning. An RBI bunt single.
Did Brad Ausmus call that? Okay, boys, here's how we're going to do it.
So the slugging Detroit Tigers scored in a fashion an RBI bunt single in the 9th for the first time since 2000. That they have won a game that way. That broke a tie and gave them the winning run. First time they've had the game-winning hit in that fashion since 2000.
Was that Jim Leland in 2000? See if Leland was that clever.
Shane Halter was the player who did it. Don't know if Leland was managing at that time in Detroit or who it was. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So Brad playing a little small ball along the way. And of course, he's got the excellent pitching staff. Detroit right in the thick of things, and that's the first stop on the next road trip for the Astros. Detroit was leading Minnesota by a game and a half when play started today. Moore swings at that one, and it's 1-2. Tigers had a 13-9 record.
Look at this changeup. How impactful it's been already in this game. Hitters just unable to wait on it, and on top of that, great locations on the outside edge. I remember doing that with a glove when I was a kid. You'd bite on the laces and smell that fantastic leather.
Pickoff play. They got him. The World took off early and couldn't get back. Well, that's out number 2.
It looked like he should have been able to get the foot back into the bag, but the cleats might have caught. Yep. Watch as he goes back, and the slide starts, and then all of a sudden that foot stopped. Yeah. And a nice snap tag by Jose Altuve.
The World took off early. That's out number 2, going from 1 to 4. Good job by Altuve on the tag. Now he's stationing himself over on the shortstop side. And a swing and a miss. By the way, Phil Garner managed that Detroit team in 2000. 1 run, 3 hits, and it is 1-0 Nationals.
CSNHouston.com is the place to get tons of stats. Bloomberg stats that take you beyond the box score. And if you go to CSNHouston.com in game live, you can also vote for the player of the game. Your winner gets revealed on TV during Astros postgame live. Speaking of what's on TV, our Twitter question of the night. The bullpen is a hot topic these days. So is the offense as far as developing consistency. So if there is one area you feel the Astros need to improve more, which would it be? Offense or the bullpen? And why? Tweet me at HoChenCSN, and I'm reading the best tweets on TV during the broadcast. Brownie, over to you.
Thanks, Howard. Bo Porter's club trailing 1-0 now. Comes up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dominguez, Villar, and Altuve batting for the Astros, who have been held to one single through the first 2 by Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman shooting for his 2nd win of the season. And it'll be Matt Dominguez leading it off. Domingo at .225 has 4 homers. He's driven in 10. Takes the fastball there, ball 1. He had a double last night and a walk in 4 trips. And then he hit a ball deep to center field. That was caught by Span in the 4th inning last night. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Matt Dominguez. Cubs and Reds are tied 3-3. They're in the bottom of the 3rd at Cincinnati. It's a 2 ball 1 strike count. Anthony Rizzo hit his 4th home run of the season for the Cubs. Some beautiful pink clouds out there in the distance. That's in at 95, and it's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Dominguez.
Pretty tough. Right over the train tracks, and
Bouncing. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Angels lead the Indians in Anaheim 2-1. Bottom of the 3rd. And Conger hit his 2nd home run. The Angels are gaining a lot of respect now. They're at 500, 13-13.
Amazing what a resurgence of Albert Pujols can do for a club.
And that's even without Josh Hamilton. Still 3-2.
That's right, and he was off to a great start.
Athletics and Rangers just underway. No score, top of the 1st inning. The A's are the top team in the AL West. They're 17-10. The Rangers are 15-12 now. Domingo takes a leadoff walk. See what Jonathan Villar did in the Oakland series.
They got that bat going a little bit. And driving balls opposite field left-handed. Doesn't pull a lot of balls left-handed, but you see that he can. He's had good power showing from the right side. A couple of bombs hit from that side. And I just feel like Jonathan Villar has the kind of tools that could equate to one of your upper echelon shortstops in Major League Baseball.
He was 5 for 10 in that Oakland series. Drove in 2. That's strike 1 to Jonathan. 228 is his average. That includes 3 homers. He's driven in 8 runs. Has 7 doubles and a triple. His slugging percentage is .456.
He's got some pop, especially right-handed.
That is the highest slugging percentage of anybody in the Astros starting lineup tonight. No balls, 2 strikes. He became the first Astros shortstop since '06, Adam Everett, to hit a double and a triple and score at least 2 runs in a game. Pitch is upstairs, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Looking down at Pat Listash, the third base coach. Villar looks at it, and it's ball 2. Astros hitters are working a lot of deep counts tonight, Ash.
Tough to lay off that curveball. Look at this pitch. What does that look like prior to getting to the plate? I would say one of those strikeout type curveballs that's very tough to lay off.
Yeah, that was close to the zone. And that is in the zone for a strikeout, number 2. Out number 1 for Jordan Zimmerman, 28 years old, from Auburndale, Wisconsin. He went to Wisconsin Stevens Point, a Division III college. In high school, he was a receiver, and he had a 300-yard receiving game in high school football.
Wow.
Jose Altuve's the batter. Grounded out to short in the 1st inning. Altuve now has gone 41 plate appearances without striking out. That's the longest stretch alive right now in Major League Baseball. Moves back from that one. It's ball 1. He's one of only 4 players right now to have 100 plate appearances or more, fewer than 10 walks, and fewer than 10 strikeouts. He has 9 walks and 9 strikeouts. That's out to center field for Denard Span. 2 down. Dominguez back to first for Dexter Fowler now. Jarek Brock, the first base coach, alongside Matt. Fowler grounded out to the first baseman Moore. Tossing to the pitcher, covering. It's a very good starting rotation, even without the injured Doug Fister right now for Washington. Steven Strasburg, the opening day starter. There's strike 1. Gio Gonzalez, the number 2 man in the rotation. You have Zimmerman, Tanner Roark, and Taylor Jordan. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes.
Kind of see with Fowler at the plate how that live fastball in the mid-90s isn't really friendly to uppercut type swings.
You know, it's hard to get that bat up on top of it. In tight for a ball. It makes it 1-2. Zimmerman has a good ERA in interleague play, 2.73 for his career. That's 9th among those who have made at least 15 interleague starts.
Last fastball told you a little story on Zimmerman as well. Very willing to come in off the edge.
Missing there. He goes to a 2-2 count.
Brings out the paintbrush and doesn't get the call. It's a close pitch and not one you want to take a lot of times with 2 strikes on you.
That's strike 3. Strikeout number 3 ends the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 1-0 Nats.
Back top of the 4th, 1-0 Nats over the Astros. And Astros, Dynamo, Rockets, and more. We have all your sports news covered. Check out Sportsnet Central every night at 6:10 and midnight on Comcast Sportsnet. Brett Overholter returns to the mound looking for that first win of the season. You know, he was 0-4 coming in despite some really nice starts. And if you look back, just tough luck with run support this season. But Obi said that's not anything he's letting himself be concerned with. He's actually thinking like a veteran guy. He's talking about how long this season is. He just wants to work on what he needs to do to be better. And Bo Porter said he hopes that his starting pitching all does the same. All of his starters think like this because there has been so many things going on around them.
It's a good point. He talked about that after the game last night. Did Bo Porter. That's strike 1 to Kevin Franson, who hit a fly ball to right earlier. And Bo was asked about the starting pitchers in the context of the bullpen difficulties late innings. For instance, Jared Cozart now has left the last 2 starts with leads and gotten no decisions. And might this affect the starting pitchers? He said no, because they have no control over it, and you know their job is to do what they can do, what they can control. And that's what Obi spoke to, and he has the 2nd worst batting support. That's a liner right over second base into center field. Franson hit a bullet at number 6 now for Washington.
And quite honestly, it is easy to focus on the fact that your teammates are not scoring runs for you. But at the same time, Obi has an ERA of 4.61 thanks in good part to the last start, and there's a lot of work needed to improve all of that. That's very pretty hitting position, lining that one right back up the middle. So he's not only a magician with the glove on balls coming off the wall, but he can hit a bit.
Well, he's having a good series so far. Very brief series. Espinosa reached on an infield hit in the hole at shortstop, and he stole second. Ground ball goes foul, and that's strike one. Well, the Astros are putting their tandem rotation plans on hiatus at AAA Oklahoma City now. They've had a couple of injuries. Well, they've had one injury in particular to Ross Seaton, and then Lucas Harrell was traded. He was sent to AAA, and then a trade was worked out, so he went to Arizona. So two potential starters are not available now for that rotation. So they're not going to have the 4-day tandem rotation plans that they had been using. They would use 8 starters in the 4 days, and then the next 4 days they'd flip-flop. The guy who pitched in relief would start. Now they're going to go with a 6-man starting rotation.
Yeah, what I also wonder about that piggyback starting setup as the pitch is just down and in is how does that impact the guys that are trying to become setup men and closers?
You know, we'll have to ask about how that works out. Josh Zeid got his 3rd save at Oklahoma City last night in their win, and they had a very good start last night from one of the top prospects, Mike Fultonevich. Also had an outstanding start at Lancaster last night from Lance McCullers Jr.
Wonder how the fastball of Fultonevich stacks up against anybody else in all of minor league baseball, or the major leagues for that matter.
Well, he hits triple digits, right?
Yep.
So would it be Yordano Ventura territory?
Yeah. Chapman with Cincinnati, kind of in that kind of a ballpark, especially if you were to make him a closer type where he throws 1 inning at a time.
Swing there by Espinosa, and he's down on strikes. He chased that changeup. Strikeout number 4.
His changeup is as good tonight from Obi. Consistently spotted well, I think, as I've seen.
Oklahoma City in second place, 15-11. Corpus is in third at 14-11. Lancaster tied for first. Quad Cities is 10-12. Short season teams begin play in June. Tonight, Oklahoma City playing at home is trailing Round Rock 4-1. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Jake Buchanan is the starter tonight. Sandy Leon, the batter. Leon hits one over second base. That's a hit to center field. And here's a first to third base running try. Franson, and the throw's wide of the base. Throw back to first. Oh, it gets away from Guzman, and the run will score. That makes it 2-0. They had him if Guzman had been able to hang on and make that tag, but Leon is safe at first, and Franson scores with aggressive base running on the play.
That's very aggressive base running, and I'm not sure on this base hit that a guy with the mid-range speed of a Kevin Franson should even go first to third. This is about charging a ball and stopping the extra 90 by how hard you come on the baseball, but that wasn't coming after it. If you ask third base coaches what make them put up the stop signs, it's guys who charge hard in the outfield. And then problems follow.
The error goes to Guzman, his first of the year. And there's strike 1 to Souza. Souza bounced into a force play in the 2nd inning. It was a single for Leon, getting Franson to third base, and then he scored on the error by Guzman. Little roller goes third base way, and it's foul. Generally, the Astros defensive play, I think, Ash, we would agree, has been better this year. But there have been lapses, and not all of those can be measured in the unearned runs they have allowed. Some of them have been plays not made that have resulted in runs that were earned.
Sometimes you can actually have a club that has a better fielding percentage than another club, for example, with a cautious outfield where you're not making errors, but you're not preventing guys from going an extra 90 feet a lot of times. But yeah, that didn't feel like an all-out effort right there.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I felt like Franson kind of won a war right there, giving a little extra.
That's the tone Matt Williams wanted to and did set with his club in spring training on aggressive base running. Frequently something you hear from any given manager in spring training. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And then you've got the Astros with Bo Porter and the guys on home games out every day prior to batting practice and doing the fundamental drills. There's not much more you can do.
Right. That's strike 3. Souza caught looking. Strikeout number 5 for Obi. He's doing the best he can to keep things together here, trailing 2-0.
This fastball right there at the bottom of the knees. Front of the plate. Look way up there. And that's where you look to see if any part of that ball catches the bottom of the knees.
Now it's Denard Span. Span hit the triple to right center field and came around to score on the error by George Springer for the first run in the 3rd inning. He struck out in the 1st. Span takes ball 1. Span was one of 2 center fielders the Minnesota Twins traded within a few weeks of each other, and Nationals seem to be happy with the one they got. Nationals are 2nd in runs scored in the National League this year. That one gets through into right center field as well on the ground. And Leon goes 1st to 3rd. As the throw goes into 2nd, it's hit number 3 of the inning. Span is 2 for 3 tonight.
One of the areas that Oberholzer has had success this year against left-hand hitters, and yet Span, as you say, coming up with a 2nd knock.
Yeah, left-handed hitters were managing only a 192 average against Obi coming into this game tonight. Now Rendon, the batter, he is 2 for 2, a double to right center and a single to right for Anthony Rendon. Rendon moved quickly through the minor leagues. He had 351 major league at bats last year. We're looking at some minor league numbers today from the guys in the Astros system. Flashback to Rice University days for Anthony Rendon at Minute Maid Park.
Got a pitch down and in, and you can see he opened wide open to be able to pull this ball and drive it to left field. That's got to be a huge thrill as a college player coming to the big league yard, especially at home, and slamming the long ball.
Well, some well-established names there who played for many years in Major League Baseball. Lance Berkman, Bubba Crosby, Jose Cruz Jr., and Anthony Rendon. Started his swing. Yes, he did. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bat gets started. Right out there beyond the front of the plate. Get called on that one most of the time.
Paul Schreiber called it himself without an appeal to first base. 8 hits so far for the Nats, 1 for the Astros, who have also made 2 errors. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count with Jason Worth on deck. The Astros will go with Brad Peacock Friday night in the opener of the Seattle Mariners series here. 7:10 game time. Saturday night it's Dallas Keuchel. Colin McHugh will get the baseball for Bo Porter on Sunday. Scott Feldman is feeling good again after spending his time on the disabled list with some biceps tendonitis. He'll throw a simulated game Sunday before the 1:10 start and then be slotted back into the starting rotation after that. Bo just wanted to give Scott a little more time, even though he feels very good. Runner takes off from first. There's a shot toward the left field corner. And that makes it 3-0 Washington, maybe 4-0. Henley sending him in. Here's the throw into the infield, and it gets by Dominguez. And the Nationals coming up with 2 more on that play to take a 4-run lead. As the Rendon fans have watched their player go 3 for 3 in this game. And he wound up at second in good base running.
Pitch elevated more than Obi would like. And it turns out to be a very hittable pitch and hit right on the screws.
Quite a night for Rendon coming back home for this series. His 10th double of the season, second tonight. He's 3 for 3 in this game. Had a hit last night as well. And it's Jason Worth batting.
Hey, you're getting a peek at how quickly things can turn on a pitcher who's actually, I have felt like, pitching quite well this evening. Brett Oberholzer, and yet some defense that gets a little sloppy, maybe not as aggressive as they need to be, and some good swings by a good offensive ball club like the Nationals, and they've taken advantage.
That was a strike on appeal to Will Little at first. The 2 runs batted in on that play by Rendon gave him 19 runs batted in this year. That's a good first month of the season. Hold up the middle. That's a long way for Villar. Can't stop it. Rendon comes around to score. That makes it 5-0. RBI single by Worth. 16th run batted in for Worth. That's 10 hits now for the Nats.
Ball hit right off the end of the bat, but found a big gap. And that's what is suddenly happening now. The Nationals putting them where they're not.
It's a big scoring night for them. 5-0 lead here in the 4th inning with a good pitcher on the mound. And Desmond is the batter. He's 1 for 2. Paul Clemens is warming up for Bo Porter's club. Popped up behind the dish. Castro coming back with the catch. And the Nationals come up with 4 in the 4th inning. They lead at 5-0.
Create memories, have fun, and enjoy a premium experience with Astros luxury suites at Minute Maid Park. Whether you're treating your employees, hosting clients, or celebrating a special occasion, we'll create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call the Astros premium ticket line at 1-877-9-ASTROS and reserve your luxury suite today.
Good place to enjoy a game. The Nationals lead at 5-0. Zimmerman takes that big lead to the bottom of the 4th inning. He's given up just 1 single through the first 3 and 1 walk. And he has not been the sort to let the walks pile up. 2 walks or fewer in each of his last 15 starts for Jordan Zimmerman. He came into this game with 7 walks in 26 2/3 innings and 28 strikeouts. That is an excellent 4-to-1 ratio of strikeouts to walk. And it's Jason Castro leading it off in the home 4th. Castro struck out on a 3-2 count back in the first. Strike to Castro. Fultonevich last night in Oklahoma City's 2-0 win over Round Rock went 4 innings, gave up no earned runs, gave up 2 hits, walked 4 and struck out 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. And McCullers in Lancaster's 5-3 win went 5 scoreless innings, striking out 10. Scattering 3 hits. 2 balls, 1 strike. There's several key players rehabbing in Florida right now from injuries in the Astros organization. Delino DeShields headed that way. He was hit by a pitch in the face a few days ago. He's making excellent progress. Mark Appel is there, Jesse Crane, and others. That's a strike. That makes it 3-2 to Jason Castro.
Maybe getting a little extra on the outside edge there. Close pitch.
Strikeout. That's number 4 for Zimmerman. Check our minor league report now.
Time now to check that minor league report presented by your local Honda dealer. Tonight it's the Lancaster Jethawks, Lance McCullers and Kyle Smith. Lance McCullers 5 shutout innings, career high 10 strikeouts. Former number 1 pick, 41st overall, and some of the guys just doing so well.
George Springer is on with an infield hit. A broken bat. He hit it out to the hole at shortstop and made it without a throw. Springer who popped to second. It's the Astros' 2nd hit of the night.
The Springer's hit a lot of these ground balls on the left side, a lot of times right at the shortstop, but he gets jammed a bit and able to pull it just enough while breaking the bat to get the infield knock.
He's aboard for Jesus Guzman. Guzman singled to center field in the 2nd inning. Fastball comes in on him for ball 1. Guzman usually starts against left-handed pitchers. Bull Porter was asked why Mark Krause is not starting tonight. That would normally be the case when the Astros face a right-hander. Off the glove of Desmond, and everybody's safe. Tried the sliding play to his right. Couldn't come up with it cleanly, and Guzman is aboard.
Even with this sliding effort, if Desmond comes up with this cleanly because the ball's hit so sharply, I think they get a pair. But Guzman taking advantage of a chance to start against the righty. Doesn't run all that well, and that would have aided in the double play possibility.
Yeah, I believe you're right, actually. Now back-to-back hits on the infield to Desmond. Set it up for Alex Presley to bat. He bounced into a force play in the 2nd inning. 3 hits for Houston now. Bull Porter just said simply that Guzman was a good fastball hitter and Zimmerman has an excellent fastball. He liked that matchup tonight rather than going with Mark Krause, which would normally be the case against a right-handed pitcher.
There have been moments when Mark Krause maybe hasn't taken advantage of fastball counts and getting that pitch in the strike zone.
Springer and Guzman the base runners for Presley. Presley's a .292 career hitter against Washington. Fouls that one away. There's strike one. Chris Carter is on deck. The Astros trailing 5-0 with a chance to get back in this game here in the fourth. Cubs and Reds are in the middle of the seventh at Cincinnati. 5-4 Chicago right now. Marlins 9, Braves 1, middle of the eighth. Marlins are making something of a statement, if you will, in a late April game with homers by Yelich, number 1, and Ozuna, number 4 tonight. They're a pesky team. They're 10-4 at home.
And their pitching is, at least in parts of the rotation, so good that I could see them playing close to, if not at the 500 mark.
Well, Stanton has had a big month.
Henderson Alvarez, a guy who had, was it the perfect game or a no-hitter late last season?
Perfect game, I believe.
Great stuff, but he has not lived up to maybe what his stuff says he could do.
Popped up on the infield. Infield fly called. 2 down. Well, the Marlins jumped all over Aaron Moraine tonight. He gave up 9 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings.
There goes his bid for the Cy Young Award.
Nate Eovaldi, though, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Pitched very well for Miami. So now it's Chris Carter. Carter hit that ground ball off Zimmerman's leg. Carried him over to Desmond and threw him out. Matt Dominguez on deck. That's strike one. Should be a great weekend. No rain in the forecast. Wonderful weather. Hope you can make it out for that Astros Mariners series starting Friday night at 7:10. Good play there by Leon. 1-1. You have any plans for the weekend, Ash?
Not yet, but I'm sure they're in the offing at some point. Should be a little bit of some kind of outdoor activity tomorrow. I imagine you're going to do the same.
That's a must. Time's the game Saturday, 3:10.
I believe that's the new Saturday times now for games.
That will be the case for the next few months. 3:10 Saturday. Bouncer, Rendon to his left. Guns it on to second for the force play. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded through 4, 5-0 Nationals.
Astros, we go to the top of the 5th. And help thousands of kids in the Houston community by donating new or used baseball equipment at Minute Maid Park. That's this Sunday, May 4th, when the Astros play the Seattle Mariners. For tickets, call 1-8779-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Brownie.
Thanks, Julia. So make sure you bring that equipment when you come out on Sunday at 1:10. Make some kids very happy. Inning number 5 has arrived here at Minute Maid Park. It's 5-0 Seattle. 5-0 Washington. Looking ahead to the Seattle series over the weekend, they have a TBA for Friday, and that we're hearing could be King Felix. They have Brandon Maurer for Saturday, but that might be Iwakuma, and they have Chris Young for Sunday. Tyler Moore now. Moore is 0 for 2. Infield shifted around.
What kind of way is that to promote King Felix? TBA.
TBA. Well, we're hearing now that King Felix has been confirmed for Friday night. So the King will be in the house and pitching. The Astros did a number on him in Seattle. 2 balls, no strikes. It is 3-0 to Tyler Moore. Clemens was warming up in the bullpen in the last inning. Ball 4. Moore takes the 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the night for Oberholzer. Bill Porter's left-hander struggled through that 4th inning, giving up 4 runs on 5 hits. The Nationals have peppered him with 10 hits tonight. And they have a good offensive ranking. Here comes Brent Strom now. They're 3rd in on-base average, 3rd in slugging percentage in the National League in the early going.
That's minus big numbers they surely would have anticipated from Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Harper is hitting .289. He has a homer and 9 runs batted in, so not great production for him, but certainly not awful either. Now, Strom and Oberholzer talk about this situation. Obi's thrown 83 pitches, 56 have been strikes. Steven Strasburg, Tommy John surgery in 2010, has rebounded nicely from that. Harper's a 2-time All-Star already. Ryan Zimmerman, an All-Star. 181 career homers and a .286 batting average for Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah, we talk about missing the offensive numbers from Harper, but what about Ryan Zimmerman? That's a very good offensive player.
He was off to a terrific start. Franson the batter now. He had an OPS of over 1,000. That's a strike to Franson. Ryan Zimmerman tore up his thumb diving back into second. Bryce Harper tore up his thumb diving into third on a triple. VR gets to it. Quick throw to Altuve, and then the relay over to Guzman takes care of a 6-4-3 double play. Altuve leads All-American League second baseman in double plays. That's the 21st in which he has participated.
Tailor-made. Ball hit firmly enough to shortstop to make it easy for all participants.
Altuve has played errorless baseball going back to last season for the last 62 games. Almost 300 total chances. Now Espinosa looks at ball 1. Espinosa's 1 for 2. Altuve and VR have talked about it, and they've talked about winning Gold Gloves this year. Foul ball makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Jose Altuve might have a tough time at times convincing folks that he's a Gold Glove type second baseman, despite not making errors. I think there's a perception among some that the range is a bit short, but boy, he's played as well as he can play with his tools.
2-1.
Now VR is a guy with his speed and perceptible range that I think provided he keeps making the plays and not kicking balls, he could be a guy that would be talked about for a Gold Glove. Steady performer there, Jose Altuve.
It's 2-2 to Espinoza. Well, Altuve has found himself playing short right field quite a bit of the time with the defensive shifts the Astros use. Something that enhances his range in some cases, but creates longer throws to get an out. Fly ball deep left field. That one's headed for the seats. And that makes it 6-0. Espinoza hits number 3. The first long ball of the night in this game, and number 28 of the season for the Nationals.
Obi can't be at all pleased about this pitch. And though he's been sharp for a good part of the night, he's starting to leave some pitches in the heart of the plate. And the next time his start comes around, you have to remember some of these pitches. This is where the failings start to mount.
Second hit of the night for Espinoza. That gives him 6 runs batted in. And Bo Porter has made that walk to the mound in a 6-0 game to make the pitching change. Paul Clemens will be coming in. The score is 6-0 Washington. We'll be right back.
For the Astros, bring the whole family out every Sunday home game at Minute Maid Park this season for Family Sundays, presented by Kroger with the Astros. To make sure, take advantage of special Kroger Family 4-pack for only $75 on select Sunday games. For tickets, 1-877-9-ASTROS or Astros.com. On the hill. Yeah, sorry about that, Bronny. Paul Clemens on the hill and trying to restore order here a bit as Brett Oberholzer, after looking really sharp early on despite allowing a run or two early, then the Nats just simply got to him here in the last couple of frames.
Now Clemens pitching to Sandy Leon, the switch hitter, now be batting left and taking ball 1. Leon was a right-handed batter against Obi, drew a walk and single to center field. He scored a run. Oberholzer in 4 2/3 innings, allowing 11 hits, 6 runs. Walking 2, fanning 4. Began the night with a 4.61 ERA and an 8-game losing streak, covering the last 9 starts. Souza's on deck. Misses in, and it's 3 balls, no strikes for Paul Clemens. The Astros relievers have combined to win 2, lose 6, and put together an ERA of 6.04, the highest in the American League. 3-1 now. Currently, Matt Alberts is on the disabled list. That's in for a strike, and it's 3-2 now. Cubs and Reds go to the top of the 8th. 5-4 Chicago. Angels 7, Indians 1, top of the 9th. That's a walk to Leon. 3rd of the night for Astros pitching. Souza's the batter now. Souza's playing right field tonight. He is 0 for 2. Steven, 25 years old, a 3rd-round pick in the 07 draft by Washington. He is from Everett, Washington, listed at 6'3" and 220. Played at AA Harrisburg last year, where his average was 300. He had 15 homers and 273 at-bats and stole 20 bases. That's strike 1. Nate McLeod, the lefty hitting outfielder, is on the bench tonight. He got the call in last night's game in right field. Souza takes a look at it, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Souza began his career in the pros as a 3rd baseman. He's hit 38 homers the last 2 years. Was an Eastern League All-Star. Clemens delivers, and he takes it for ball 2. Got a chance to impress the new skipper with a good spring. And Steven Souza is on the big league club now here on the last day of April. He looks at it. It's a strike. 2-2. It's a big 11-0 wipeout for the Oakland Athletics at Texas. They're in the bottom of the 5th. They're doing a number on that Rangers pitching staff.
That's interesting the way that back and forth has gone. The Rangers went into Oakland and swept the A's, and now the A's are laying it back the other way.
Interesting is right. Runner goes when it's strike 3. That ends the top of the 5th inning. 1-run scoring on 1 hit with a man left. 6-0 Nationals. On Comcast Sportsnet is presented by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And by the amazing Spider-Man 2 in theaters May 2nd. Check it out this weekend. Right here, a beautiful night at Minute Maid Park. It's 6-0 Nationals. The Astros will be batting in the home 5th inning. They've been out hit 11-3. Handing Jordan Zimmermann this big lead, and Zimmermann is trying to achieve win number 2 of the season and number 45 of his major league career, which would make him the all-time wins leader in the history of the Washington Nationals, who moved from Montreal in 2005. And the Astros have a .546 career winning percentage against the Expos/Nationals. That's their highest winning percentage against any franchise. Matt Dominguez drew a leadoff walk in the 3rd. Spins around as ball 1 comes up and in.
Time for a good old-fashioned rally, Brownie.
Ooh, wouldn't that be something? That's high, and it'll hang in left center field. Denard Span looks over to left fielder, and Kevin Franson takes care of it, out number 1. Well, in honor of Kevin Franson's outstanding play last night, we have some really good catches down through the last few years, Ash.
That may be the greatest of all time, Brownie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but certainly one of the most unique, to say the least.
How do you think he did that anyway?
I have not a clue, and I don't think he has a clue. It looked like a guy who was running away from a wave coming his way. Maybe a little body surfing on the 30-foot wave, and all of a sudden in his back pocket the ball that came out of the wave. That makes a lot of sense, but yeah, it just was so bizarre.
Well, we were hearing from the Washington media he was having some fun with it afterwards. He didn't pretend that he had planned it that way, and admitted it was a lucky play. But he said, you know, playing that wall, it was right at the corner of the wall, so he wasn't sure which way it would carry him. Here's an attempt, but no dice for Espinosa. He made a good try, but VR gets an infield hit. Really no chance to get him whatsoever.
This is very good speed from VR. He hasn't utilized that speed to the same extent so far this season that we saw last year when he came up, but he can really run.
That's hit number 4 for the Astros. They've all been singles. 3 of them infield hits. Jose Altuve is 0 for 2. Robbie Ross for Texas was tagged for 10 runs, 6 of them earned in 3 1/3 innings by Oakland. That's a shot to left field. Altuve smacked it. VR to second base. 32nd hit of the year for Jose Altuve.
Just a good hitter. Does so many things well. Look at that pitch up and in, and let's see if that's been a kind of a happy hit me hard spot for Jose Altuve. When we look at what he's been doing lately, look at up and in. See the right-hand batter over to your right, up and in, hitting .412, 294 down and in, but pitches away, not really stinging it right now. And Jose Altuve, when I think of him generally, it's those pitches away that he'll line into right field.
Now Dexter Fowler with strike 1. He has been getting most of his hits to left field this year. Altuve has.
Maybe not a bad thing, because that would lead to some more power numbers, you would think.
Fowler has grounded out, and he has struck out looking. In tight, 1-1. Altuve is going to wind up the top Astros hitter for the month of April in club's history. He came in a .318 hitter during all of his Aprils as an Astro. 97 hits and 305 April at bats prior to this game. There's a shot foul. And .318 ranked first. Derek Bell was second at .313. So no matter what happens tonight, Altuve will be the April all-time Astros hitting leader. Is there a trophy with that?
Should be one. I mean, provide trophies for just about everything, or at least a lawn gnome.
That's a looper, and Desmond goes up for the catch. No double play chance. 2 outs.
I think you've got your own gnome coming in this weekend, don't you?
We need that gnome. It's gardening season, Ash. Good time to get out in the yard.
Yes, it is.
Get your trowel out.
This is lumber chopping up season 2, and Dexter Fowler's providing a bit.
Yeah, that bat might be used for compost. It won't be good for hitting, that's for sure. Desmond made the leaping catch, and now it's Castro. Castro struck out a couple of times in this game.
Get some guys on base and let Springer or Castro or Guzman get a big swing.
Wow, that one got away. Ball 1. Well, 3-run homer here cuts the lead in half.
That looked like the soap squirting right out of the hand.
It sure did. You ever get any of that soap on a string back in the day?
It was the only way to take a shower at one time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Strike makes it 1-1.
Hate to divulge showering techniques, but
Castro's jammed on that one. Fouling it back. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count with Springer on deck. I remember Harry Carey when he was doing White Sox games. They had a shower out in the stands, right? Fans could just walk up.
Yeah.
Clean up during the game.
Only the ones who had come out of hibernation out in the ivy apparently for some decades. Andre Dawson could have taken advantage.
They have a swimming pool in Arizona. How about hot tubs? Does anybody have hot tubs?
James Brown had one.
Okay. One of the few plays Berkman has failed to make.
The one in the hot tub? Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No wonder he's trying to make it right-handed.
How about Eddie Murphy doing the James Brown in the hot tub thing way back when? That's one of the all-timers.
Yeah.
I'd stack that up against the Berkman catch on Tal's Hill any day.
Okay. That's strike 3. Castro's rung up for the 3rd time tonight. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left after 5. 6-0 Nats.
Moment in History is brought to you by MD Anderson, making cancer history. Teddy ball game, huh? Yes, sir. Ted Williams, last day before reporting to military service. Ted Williams hit a game-winning 2-run dinger off Dizzy Trout to give the Sox a 5-3 win over the Tigers. What day didn't he hit a home run?
Yeah.
And just one of the great hitters of all time. And some people make arguments for him being the greatest hitter of all time.
And that was before going to his second war. The Ryans, Reed and Nolan, watching. And getting a little chilly down where they are, it would appear. 6-0 ball game. And here's Denard Span in the 6th inning. Span has 2 hits and he scored 2 runs in 3 trips to the plate. That's ball 1 upstairs. Paul Clemens in relief of Brett Oberholzer. Obi in 4 2/3 gave up 11 hits and 6 runs. Walking 2, fanning 4. He threw 90 pitches.
Are we in the 6th already?
Already. Two balls and no strikes.
Two hours to get through 5 innings is not the snappiest of baseball.
Well, let's see. There have been 16 hits. Guzman over to foul territory. Gets over to the stands but can't reach it. 2 balls and strike.
It's an opportunity to see what John Singleton did to Denard Span back in spring training. Singleton comes out the winner on this. Look at the step in and then oops, this guy's got some pop. John Singleton has been tearing it up this year on the minor league level at AAA. And how long might it be until we see him? Denard Span can probably wait.
We'll look up his numbers. They're good. Fly ball near the left field line. Presley comes over. DR could have made the catch, but it's Presley. 1 out. Mr. Singleton coming into play tonight was hitting .295 for Oklahoma City with 9 homers, 27 runs batted in 95 at bats. And he had an OPS of 1,067.
Well, leading the minor leagues, all of the minor leagues, in home runs and RBIs. And let's see what Big John has done tonight. 1 for 2, hitting .299.
Okay.
Domingo Santana also with a hit. That a double and a ribby.
Anthony Rendon looks at 1 for ball 1. Rendon is 3 for 3 tonight. He's driven in 2 and scored a run.
For those on the Robbie Grossman watch, he's 2 for 3, hitting .326.
Austin Waits also has very good numbers. Not as much playing time as some of the other outfielders at Oklahoma City.
In fact, as you say that, Robbie Grossman playing in center field tonight as Waits gets a night off.
That's ball 2, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Max Stassi is hitting .279, has 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. Very nice start for Max this season. In the air, and Guzman comes over to foul territory again. Well, that was in just about the same spot.
Same guy.
What happened down there? They blew it.
Same guy's getting abused. Yeah. 3rd time's the charm.
That is unbelievable that he couldn't make that play. He got the ball anyway.
Young man sitting next to him, I think maybe the one getting abused.
Did he pancake it?
He might have.
Austin Waits, 339. 948 OPS for Austin Waits. And just 56 at bats. It's a shot to right field. Springer backing on it, turning. That one's an opposite field home run. Anthony Rendon is 4 for 4 in this game. That's his 4th homer. He's driven in 3 tonight to give him 20 runs batted in. What a night for Anthony Rendon, a local product. And he has returned to a very enjoyable time.
Yeah, this got to be one of those nights for that family and the friends and Anthony himself to long remember. Oh, that's legit pop going the other way. There's not a big ballpark to straightaway right field, but batting right-handed, rather impressive.
Jason Worth takes it at strike 1. He's 1 for 3, an RBI single. Very memorable game for Anthony Rendon. He grew up following the Killer Bees. That's out number 2.
Yeah, just stays on it and drives it to right field. That's a pretty good section of friends and family. I wonder if they get all those on the same phone bill.
What a night for him. 4 hits, and it's only the 6th inning. Ian Desmond looks at that pitch high. Desmond's 1 for 3. It's in for a strike, and that makes it a 1-1 count.
Jason Castro's doing a really nice job of what I think is a flattering, if you will, way to receive pitches for the umpires. Deep in on the body, and especially those curveballs that stay up and fastballs that want to run back to the corner, catch them as deep as you can. He's doing a really beautiful job. Watch how deep he'll set this glove back into the body. Not reaching out in front.
2-2.
Now you get that low curveball, and you probably want to reach out in front and try to keep it up in the range a bit.
Julia's cold.
We are not in Oakland or Seattle, Julia.
Clemens fields the comebacker. It's out number 3. It's 1 run, 1 hit. Rendon goes deep. What a night for him. 7-0 Nationals.
Nationals over the Astros. And just a reminder that every Thursday is Dollar Dog Thursday when the Astros play at home. The next chance to plow through a pile of dollar dogs is May 29th when the Astros take on the Orioles. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Brownie was making fun of me because I was cold down here. It is supposed to get down to 49 tonight, Brownie.
Oh, you're still in short sleeves. I didn't realize
I'm
that.
very cold.
Okay. Yeah, a little chilly wind coming through, but it's kind of refreshing for those of us who have lived here for a long time. There is ball one to Springer. George with an infield hit in the fourth. It's 1 for 2. That's popped up foul. Coming over for it, Moore. Moore can't get to it. One ball, one strike. Yeah, here we are. Last day in April. It's usually pretty warm this time of year, and we don't experience this kind of weather very often. The winter was quite unusual here. Popped up. 3 players moving in that direction, but it bounces on top of the Astros dugout.
I think bottom line, this is the kind of weather you want to enjoy here in Houston, but maybe with some ice cream you could heat up. Get Julia some ice cream down there.
All right.
That's that lovely combination of ice cream and cotton candy. It gets no better than that.
Ugh.
Doesn't that sound good to you?
Not necessarily. Not really. Springer's down on strikes. That's number 6 for Zimmerman. Guzman will follow. He's 2 for 2.
Let him get a piece for a while and then bring the filthy slider with a couple of strikes.
That was tough. Guzman with a single to center field. Another hit to shortstop tonight. Good selection by Bo Porter to go with the right-handed hitter against the righty. And there's ball one.
Mike Scott used to do that a lot. A couple of fastballs in the zone, they'd be fouled off, and then all of a sudden Uncle Splitty would come to town, and there was no chance.
1 ball, 1 strike. Uncle Splitty could name his own accommodations when he came to town. No back bedroom for him.
Pretty highly thought up pitch.
Diving play, and look at this by Rendon. What hasn't he done tonight?
Well, he hasn't yet treated the family and friends to dinner. That's coming.
He is putting on a show.
Great reactions. That's covering a lot of ground at third base. And much like Adrian Beltre, that kind of submarine sling on the throw.
Guzman could have been 3 for 3. Rendon taking care of out number 2, and now it's Presley. Presley 0 for 2. That's ball 1. The Angels knocked off the Indians in Anaheim 7-1. C.J. Wilson going to 4-2 with a win over Zach McAllister. That's the Indians' 6th loss in a row. Terry Francona's club now 11-17.
Told you they were the dark horse in that division.
At least you fessed up to it.
How's KC doing for you?
Oh, never mind.
Long way to go. That's what we both have to say.
Oh, yes. Presley with a high foul ball. Takes the count to 1-2.
Of course, we both know the Twins are the team to beat in that division.
Well, April baseball can bring you some different thinking, right? These guys were in a good spot.
Well positioned, guys.
Hey, let's go see where we can get a foul ball for sure.
Nobody to fight with.
Pop back and out of play, and it's still a 1-2 count. Nate Eovaldi and the Marlins box the Braves around 9-3. Justin Upton hit his 8th home run.
Brother BJ is somewhere in the dust.
Oh, he is. He has been left far behind in terms of power stats by his brother Justin. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the Phillies rained out. They'll make it up June 2nd. Cardinals 9, Brewers 3. Carlos Gomez hit his 7th for the losing Brewers. They're still 20-8. Bounce to second. Espinosa. Quick throw on to first. It's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Zimmerman. 7-0 Washington.
Astros this season at Minute Maid Park. Every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next fireworks game is May 2nd against the Mariners. Get tickets today by calling 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com.
7-0 ball game here, and a 4-run 4th inning is a big part of the night for the Nationals. They've out-hit the Astros 12-5. 7th inning brings Tyler Moore to the plate. Moore is 0 for 2 with a walk. Paul Clemens throws, and there's strike one. Brett Overholtzer, the starter for Houston, went 4 2/3, allowing 11 hits and 6 earned runs. Then Clemens came in and gave up a Rendon homer in the 6th inning. Dominguez takes care of that out. Bo Porter's made a couple of changes in the outfield. Alex Presley has moved from left field to center field. Dexter Fowler coming out of the game, and LJ Hose has gone in to play left field. He'll be in Fowler's number 3 spot in the lineup. So Presley in center and Hose in left. Kevin Franson is 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the 4th. There's a shot up the right field line into the corner. Franson's hustling for second base. George Springer plays the carom well. Throws it into Altuve. That's a 1-out double. Franson's 2nd double of the season. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Nationals have hits in every inning so far.
Well, they are looking like a very good club tonight despite the injuries. They're dealing with some tough ones.
Espinosa has an infield hit and a homer. Well, they have hit for the cycle. The Nationals in this game. They have 13 hits. 2 home runs. That's strike 1. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Paul Clemens. Paul, 26 years old, from Columbia, South Carolina. 7th round pick of the Braves in 08. The Astros got him in the Michael Bourne deal. along with Oberholzer and a couple of other players. That makes it 2-1. You a Spider-Man fan, Ash?
I don't lay awake at night thinking about it, and that's for sure. But I have to check that out. How about you?
Probably along the same line. Shot on the ground. Guzman to Clemens. 2 outs.
I guess that says we're both less than fanatics.
Yeah. Runner at third base. Franson, 2 outs for Leon. Leon has a single and 2 walks. If you were to compile a list of things you do lay awake thinking about at night, how long would that list be?
Well, it would be your food list, I guess, is what first comes to mind.
Okay. Let's see. What am I going to have for breakfast tomorrow?
What kind of exercises I will avoid tomorrow at all costs.
The Astros will pay a return visit to Washington. A 2-game series there. There's ball 1. Well, one of those things might be the knuckleball, Ash. You might lay away.
Oh gosh, that was those were the days. You know, I love Joe Niekro. What a wonderful guy. But that pitch that he flipped toward the plate was not my best friend.
Fly ball, Presley in center field. Takes care of the final out. No runs, a hit, a runner stranded at third. 7-0 Washington. Seventh inning stretch. The Astros get another shot at one of baseball's best pitchers Friday night. The Seattle Mariners are coming to town. Pre-game live starts at 6:30. Game coverage begins at 7. Only on Comcast Sportsnet.
And here's tomorrow night's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. And I guess that would actually be Friday, because tomorrow night we're going to just enjoy in other fashions. But Felix Hernandez, 3-1, goes to the mound, 2.40 the ERA. Lost to the Astros his last time out. Brad Peacock will make a start, 0-2, trying to get things going on the right track. 5.95 the ERA. And last couple of starts, 0-1 with a 4.50. Brad Peacock is going to have a tough assignment against the King.
Aaron Barrett is warming up in the bullpen. Orbit entertaining here. And meanwhile, the Astros come up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jordan Zimmermann apparently about to end his night with the 7-0 lead. He's thrown 100 pitches, and it's Chris Carter with strike 1. 0 for 2 tonight. With Barrett warming up, it would appear that Zimmermann will be checking out after this frame. He's been on a good roll. 3 straight quality starts for Zimmermann now. No balls and 2 strikes. He's given up just 5 singles tonight, and 3 of those have been infield hits. Missing with the slider. The count goes to 1-2.
Got that sleeveless look going on the cool evening here in Houston.
Tough slider, and he struck him out. That's number 7.
When he goes to the strikeout pitch, it generally is that real good-looking slider down and away on the right-hand hitters.
He has not walked 2 straight batters for 63 starts, more than 400 innings of pitching. He's walked 1 tonight. Matt Dominguez. Aaron Barrett working in the pen. Domingo cranks a line drive hit to left field.
Well, if you're going to get yourself a first pitch fastball, be ready for it and drill the thing. That's exactly what happens in great hitter's location. That's a pitch that Matt Dominguez might even kick himself over for not elevating a bit.
Domingo aboard. Jonathan Villar, the batter. Dexter Fowler's hitting streak ended at 9 games with his 0 for 3 night. Villar got the infield hit in the 5th. That's ball 1. Day off for the players tomorrow. Back at him Friday night against King Felix. 1 ball, 1 strike. Robinson Cano is coming to Houston. He's just returned to New York. Got a lot of booing and some cheering along the way. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, if there's any place you should get the Bronx cheer.
Yeah. The Astros won 2 of 3 in Seattle. They gave the Mariners a rough time last year as well. Bouncer right side. That gets on through into right field. Dominguez to second on the hit by Villar. Villar's second of the night.
And Jonathan Villar is quietly creeping along and pushing his numbers upward after a very slow start and some frustrating moments. You know, a hit like this can go a long way to help you. That little chopper that simply finds a big hole.
That might be it for Zimmerman right there. He's thrown 109 pitches, and Matt Williams, the skipper, is on his way. That's going to be it. He's had Barrett warming up in the bullpen. 2 men on and 1 out with a 7-0 Washington lead. He could be the all-time victory leader of the Washington Nationals by the end of the night. We're going to take a look at some great catches down through the last several years on our AT&T U-verse Rewind.
There you go. Yeah, this last night, look at that. Really, eyes in the back of his head. That's one of the coolest catches you will ever run into. How about Denard Span going back and playing Lance Berkman? I knew Lance Berkman, and he's no Lance Berkman, but that's pretty darn good nonetheless. And Tal's proud. There's your Berkman smile coming up. It hasn't happened yet, but here it is. Yeah. Here's how Lance did it, guys. Yeah. Some of the other great catches through the years. Oh, yeah.
Josh Colmeter.
Let's kick it up right here. Delwyn Young. Yeah, that's kind of special.
Yeah. Off the leg of Garrett Jones.
How about the shot by Mike Lamb that Gary Matthews went up and over to get? That is one of the great catches.
Yes.
That is one of the most unique catches. George Springer added to the list recently. You've got Jose Altuve sprinting all over the place, but yeah, that's a great compilation of terrific catches. There's Lance.
Put the Puma on there.
Yeah, smile for us, Lance. Yeah, you know what? That's a laughable play, but think of how far Lance Berkman went just to get to that ball.
Yeah. Then he had to twist and turn to make the play. Outfielders conferring now as Aaron Barrett warms up. A rookie from the University of Mississippi. Barrett, 26 years old, was born in Evansville, Indiana, a 9th-round pick in 2010 by the Nationals. He's 1-0 with a 1.17 ERA for 9 games as a major leaguer.
It's one of those dicey situations. You're the skip. You want to protect the arm of Zimmerman. At the same time, Zimmerman's concerned about his own numbers, and he's allowed a couple of base runners on, yet to allow a run on the night. And you bring in the bullpen, take care of this situation, and as a skipper, you just hope that they come through. The Astros hoping otherwise. Yeah, there's a lot of concern from those starting pitchers.
109 pitches driving Zimmerman from the game, and also the big 7-0 lead. Now he's a spectator as Jose Altuve bats. Altuve's 1 for 3. He lined a single to left field in the 5th inning. 2 men on and 1 out. Breaking pitch comes in, and there's strike one. How about this for a major league debut? Aaron Barrett worked a 1-2-3 ninth inning in his major league debut March 31st at New York against the Mets, and got the win.
A couple of strikeouts in that one.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, some relievers go years without a win. He got one in his major league debut.
Easy game.
Fouled away, and it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Barrett in 2012 at Hagerstown picked up 16 saves. Last year at AA Harrisburg, in 51 games, he had 26 saves. 15 walks and 69 strikeouts in 50 innings last year. Good numbers.
Ooh.
And he strikes out Altuve.
You're not going to strike out Altuve very much. We've talked about it. But that thing will pick up some strikeouts. That was right over the top.
Now AT HOU's batting in the number 2 spot.
Look at this thing. He's biting it in the dirt, and confused look on the face of Altuve.
LJ's hitting 140. He has 1 homer, 1 run batted in. He's had 43 at bats. There's ball 1. LJ has 6 hits in those 43 at bats, 1 homer and 1 double. And 2 for his last 28, 0 for his last 16. Some of these guys can't wait for that calendar to turn over from April to May after rough months of April. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Glad to see LJ go after a first pitch fastball right there. See if he can find one and jump on it. He's been a little more timid this year than we saw last.
Started last night. He was 0 for 2 with a walk. Ground ball to shortstop. Desmond tossing to Espinosa for the force. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left after 7. 7-0 Nats. And the new catcher for the Astros is warming up, Paul Clemens. Carlos Corcoran taking over for Jason Castro, who was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts tonight. Jordan Zimmerman threw 110 pitches, 72 for strikes in his 6 1/3 innings. He allowed 7 hits, no runs with 1 walk. Struck out 7 and is in line for win number 2 of the season. Corcoran now as the ball goes down to second, getting set for the 8th inning. Steven Souza due to lead it off for Washington. So Corp comes in for the last portion of this ball game with a day off coming tomorrow. Give Jason Castro a couple of innings of additional rest before Friday night.
He can only hope that somebody is rally Jason there in the dugout when he comes to the plate.
Yeah. Souza is 0 for 3. He smacks a liner in VR. He's able to make that
catch. Souza saying, "Let me join the party, guys." That's a lot of fun when your teammates are just having a big time party and you hit a ball like this and the guy makes a great play on you. Snow cones are good this time of year.
25,172 the paid attendance tonight. Denard Span the batter. Span is 2 for 4 tonight. Looking at strike 1. Rockies lead at Arizona 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Jordan Lyles on the mound. Jordan Lyles has hit a homer, his first of the season. Carlos Gonzalez belted his 5th. It's a smash to Altuve. He retires Span, 2 outs. We promised it earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. It is Anthony Rendon, 4 for 4 in the game with a homer and 3 runs batted in.
Triple shy of the cycle. He's had himself some kind of night. That's pretty hitting. Twice on the night, just drilling it to right field. He shows that he can pull it with some pop up against the board in left field. And as you said, 19 RBIs already on the year. Wow.
Now he has 20.
20? Sorry to shortchange.
Well, if he gets a triple, he has the cycle. The last national to hit for the cycle, Brad Wilkerson, April 28th, 08 against the Dodgers. There's ball 1. Triple, though, is the hardest part of the cycle to get. Batting average up to .319. Great numbers. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he also made that excellent play to throw out Jesus Guzman in the 6th inning. Diving stop to his left. Two balls and a strike. The Astros have had 8 consecutive losing Aprils. Fly ball to left. AT HOU at the base of the wall now comes in. That's the way to do it. And it's a 1-2-3 8th inning. 7-0 Nats.
Nothing heading to the bottom of the 8th. Our Twitter question tonight was, which area of concern do you want the Astros to improve on more, the offense or the bullpen? Got a lot of tweets about this. The best tweets? How about Casutton08? He tweets, the bullpen. Starting pitchers have had excellent starts and decent offense, only to give up late leads in the 8th or the 9th. BB Fan Lady tweets, the offense. It'll take the pressure off the starters and the bullpen. If they don't have to be perfect all the time to win, will make all the pitchers better. Thank you very much for tweeting me at Chen CSN. That was some good stuff there about the offense and the bullpen. Guys?
Thanks, Howard. We go to the bottom of inning number 8. 7-0 Washington. Lefty Ross Detweiler checks in. He's 28 years old from St. Louis, Missouri. He went to Missouri State. He was a first-round draft choice in 07, the 6th player drafted that year. He's 0-1 with a 1.98 ERA.
Thinking about that argument by the fans there about bullpen or offense. In either case, you're talking about kind of bottom of the heap in terms of the stats in the league. And so, yeah, a lot of room for improvement.
That's right. Detweiler looks in, and Carlos Corcoran will be in the box very soon to lead it off in the home 8th inning. He just backed out of there. 172, 2 homers, 3 runs batted in for Corp. He's had 29 at-bats as a right-handed batter. He's hitting 176. And the switch hitter fouls it for strike 1. Well, tomorrow an off day, but typically this time of year the guys in the front office will meet and confer. Maybe have some discussions about the personnel. Fans were just weighing in on their opinions. It's that time of year, a month into the season, to talk about how things are on the major league roster. Sometimes no balls, 2 strikes. The Astros, if they lose this game, will have a record of 9-19. Corcoran takes a look at it. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And when the club has a record of 9-19 and is last in runs scored, last in on base average, last in slugging percentage, 13th out of 15 in ERA. Ground ball to Rendon at third. Strong throw to first, out number 2. Bullpen ERA is the highest in the American League. More home runs allowed than any other bullpen in the American League. Those are some things that may come in for discussion. Now Springer's the batter. Springer 1 for 3. Scott Feldman should be back soon. Springer fouls that one back. Strike 1. Feldman really was off to a nice start when he had to go on the 15-day disabled list. It'd be nice to get him back at some point next week. It would seem that he would probably be in line for a game in Detroit, which would be the first stop of the 2-city road trip, Detroit and Baltimore. It's supposed to be pretty chilly in Detroit. Second baseman is there, Espinosa. 2 down.
Follow the Astros with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry 10. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and a whole lot more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com.
2 outs, and it's Guzman batting now. Guzman 2 for 3 tonight. Could be 3 for 3, but for the diving play by Rendon. Nationals bullpen has an 8-7 record, a 4.01 ERA. That's not right. It's a lot lower than that. They had the 4th best ERA in the National League prior to last night. That's a ball. So their pen's in good shape. Soriano, the closer, has 17 consecutive saves. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Alex Presley's on deck. Guzman takes a look at it. Now the count runs to 3-0. Aaron Barrett in 2/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs, had no walks. He had a strikeout. That's in for strike one. The Nationals have 2 shutouts in the early going this season. Foul back, and it's 3-2 now to Guzman. Their bullpen ERA is 2.21. So they have a good crew with a couple of lefties. Detweiler and Blevins, the 2 lefties in their pen. There's a shot for the left field corner. That's going to roll to the wall. And Guzman heads for second with his 3rd hit of the night. A double. That's number 2 of the year.
Well, maybe not some bad timing on the part of Jesus Guzman. You never know how many opportunities are going to come your way. Take advantage while you can, and he gets a start against a right-hander tonight. Now sees the left-hander, and this is a quality evening.
Alex Presley has Guzman at second with 2 outs. Presley's 0 for 3. Strike one. Dodgers 5, Twins 1 at Target Field in Minnesota. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Twins are hanging in at 12 and 11. No balls, 2 strikes. Kyle Gibson got the start for Minnesota. Zach Greinke on the mound for the Dodgers tonight. He pitched very well, 6 innings of 7-hit 1-run baseball, no earned runs. Dodgers have had a couple of rainouts in recent days. Greinke's been waiting around to pitch. Over Detweiler, and here's the bare hand, no throw as Desmond gets to it. Took a look at the runner at third. Guzman wasn't straying. It's an infield hit for Presley.
Presley just continues to come up with some knocks. He's obviously not crushing the baseball right here, but he runs fairly well. And he makes contact against a tough, tall left-hander. It's a pretty good job leaning into that run toward the bag at first.
Strike to Chris Carter. He's 0 for 3. Detweiler's listed at 6'5", but Presley hit a high bouncer over him and beat it out. Hit number 9 for the Astros. 8 of them singles. It's 0-2 to Carter.
Ooh, that pitch on the inside edge just ate him alive.
And that's a strikeout. That's number 9 of the night for Washington pitching. It's 7-0 Nats.
Nationals, and it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game telecast. It's the Comcast Sportsnet Fan Photo brought to you by AT&T, and we want to update you on what's going on with the player of the game voting on Astros or CSNHouston.com. That's Astros in-game live. Look at Jesus Guzman getting some votes with his 3 knocks tonight. And Rendon's getting some votes as too, the local kid, but Guzman holding strong there. The winner will be announced on Astros post-game live right after the game. Guys?
Thanks, Julia. Oh, Guzman with a big night there at first base. Pitcher number 3 is in the game, Jose Cisnero. Paul Clemens worked 3 1/3 innings. Gave up 2 hits and 1 run, walking 1, fanning 1. Nate McLouth comes up to lead it off here in the 9th inning. Jason Worth, as the DH, was 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Cisnero with an inning and a third of scoreless baseball against the Athletics on Friday. Works to McLouth. McLouth with a high drive sends Springer back into right center field. Springer back to the wall and got back there early for out number 1. That's what George can do with his range as the right fielder.
You know, he's played very well, and I hate to just pick areas like this, but on balls in the air he's been really good. All the errors have been mounting on trying to pick balls up off the ground, and then one effort where he just lobbed one back to the infield errantly.
Ian Desmond bats. He looks at strike 1. He's 1 for 4. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. One ball and 2 strikes on Desmond with more on deck. Fouled away, and that remains a 1-2 count on the hitter. And the Nats will go on to play the Philadelphia Phillies over the weekend. The aging Philadelphia Phillies. Nationals have been cultivating their own talent for the last several years, trying to make a run at where the Phillies were a few years ago. Be interesting to see if that Philadelphia club can hang in there with the Chase Utleys and Ryan Howards and the other guys. Cliff Lee with some years on them, struck him out.
Chase Utley's gotten off to a nice start on the season. I wasn't sure that with all the injuries and the years piling on that he'd be able to do that.
Phillies are 13-13, just behind Washington in the standings. Tyler Moore is 0 for 3 with a walk. Sliders in the dirt, ball 1. Fouled away, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. One and 2. Cisnero blew it by him upstairs.
Getting under that fastball a bit, but with the velocity he has here this evening, throwing it over the bats.
Strike 3. He makes quick work of the Nationals in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's 7-0 Washington. CBS Sportsnet is presented by AT&T, mobilizing your world, and by Mayweather versus Maidana, live on pay-per-view Saturday, May 3rd. It's halftime there at Toyota Center with the Rockets and Portland, 56-48. Houston, Game 5. You know, the team that's down 3 games to 1 wins Game 5 of best of 7 series 73% of the time.
They win the series when it's all said and done. I believe I heard 8% of the time, or it might have been 4% of the time.
I think 4.
Yeah, that's probably right. So they've got their work cut out for them, do the Rockets.
Yep. Ryan Matthews comes out of the bullpen for Washington to work the bottom of the 9th inning with a 7-0 lead. He just arrived from AAA Syracuse, where he was 0-1 with a 5.40 ERA. Called up yesterday. 10 innings under his belt in the minor leagues. He's been with the Nationals for a while. He came up in 2011. He's from Galt, California. Went to Sacramento Community College. Drafted by Colorado in 2003. Washington got him in a trade in 2009. He was in 37 games last year for the Nats. Matt Dominguez, the batter. And that's strike 1. Domingo has been on twice with a walk and a single. Ross Detweiler in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs. He had no walks and 1 strikeout. 9 punch-outs for the Nationals pitching staff tonight. It's 1-1. Well, the Astros rebounded from losing those first 2 games of the Oakland series. Won games 3 and 4, but now, after losing last night in a tough one, late 4-3, they trail 7-0. And Dominguez hit by the pitch here. Will be on for the 3rd time tonight. So as the homestand rolls on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here, they hope to regroup against Seattle. Jonathan Villar is 2 for 3 tonight.
You know, you can look at a ball club and it can look like they're dead when the offense is not doing much. And I know I've been down in the dugout many a time. Guys are yelling and hollering, but if the bats are not making noise, it just looks like a dead club. You need the offense to make something go on.
VR takes a look at ball 1. VR with a liner to center. Kennard span. 1 out. Stay tuned for Astros postgame live, presented by Jack in the Box. Jose Altuve is 1 for 4. He singled in the 5th inning. The Astros still have not scored a run in the 9th inning this year. It's ball 1 from Matthews. Matthews had Tommy John surgery back in 2009. Well, there have been a number of those already this year for major league pitchers.
It's gotten to the point now where you feel like you don't even mention that the guy had Tommy John. You just mention the year that he had it in.
Or if he didn't, maybe that's
yeah, that's newsworthy.
Something like 83% of the pitchers who have been in the major leagues and have had Tommy John surgery have then returned to the major leagues.
It's a very effective surgery. The shoulder surgery much less so. Nobody wants to lend their name to that one.
No. Jasmine with the toss, and then there's Espinosa. Strong arm for the double play to end it. And it's a combined shutout. Jordan Zimmermann gets his 45th career win to become the all-time Nationals win leader. Barrett, Detweiler, and Matthews collaborate on the 9-hit shutout. Washington sweeps the 2-game series with a big night from Rendon. 4 hits, 3 runs batted in. Final score, Washington 7, Houston 0.